MMA fans, welcome back to Carlo Perusa MMA. Today, I have a very special guest. My guest today is current undefeated PFL mixed martial artist. She was last year's PFL European flyweight winner. She's on course to try to get that PFL Global Championship victory this year. She's taking on Jenna Bishop here in a few months in the PFL playoffs. She is the undefeated Miss Dakota Ditcheva. Dakota, how are you doing today? What's life like in Florida?
I'm good, thank you. It's raining right now, so it's not the best weather, but life is very good here, so I'm happy anyway.
So you're definitely, anyone who watches combat sports, anyone who watches mixed martial arts, you're one of the top women's prospects right now. And every fight in the PFL, every fight in your career, you're going out there and you're just finishing girls in absolutely vicious manners. I think it really starts off your first fight in the PFL. You got to make your debut a couple years ago at Madison Square Garden. You were able to pick up a very nice victory there. In the first round, within a minute, shut down your opponent's liver. What was that moment like? What was that moment like for you? I think your first fight in the US. What was that like?
Yeah, that was one of the standout moments for me. Yeah, my big fight. And it was on like the tournament final as well, which was quite a big moment because obviously I'll be doing that myself this year. So yeah, it was definitely a standout moment for sure. My first fight in the States as well, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
So your mom, if anyone is aware of kickboxing, martial arts, Lisa Howarth, obviously a huge name. When you're the daughter of someone like that, is mixed martial arts pretty much ingrained into you and put into your life at the time you're born?
Yeah, I would probably say it was not like by force from my mum or anything, but it was definitely in the blood. Like I definitely got her fighting genes. So for sure, yeah, there's something definitely that I got from her.
What is it like to have a mom like that? Someone who understands what it's like to compete, someone who understands what you're probably going through in training camp, leading up to the fight itself. Do you feel that as a great support?
Yeah, definitely. She's been such a good support for me. Just the experience, like you said, of her understanding what emotions I'm going through. This fighting sport is like very strange. Not many people like understand the emotions that we have. So to have somebody as close to me like my mom to understand exactly what I'm going through is a big plus for me, I think.
In addition to your mom, your brother Cody is also someone who's really close to you. He's one of your coaches. I believe he was down for your last PFL fight. What is it like to be able to train alongside him as well?
Yeah, so important. And it's nice that I've been able to have him, move over to MMA and still be my coach. Same with my mum. They were my coaches right from the very beginning. Through Thai boxing, they were always my coaches throughout my whole career. So to now have them still involved, even though I've transitioned over to MMA and I'm now with American Top Team, and I have a whole bunch of new coaches that are top level. It's nice that I can still have them involved and take them on this journey with me and continue it.
What was that move like? Obviously, you moved away from Europe. You came to Florida, one of the biggest, one of the most renowned gyms in the world at American Top Team. A bunch of high-level guys who are in the UFC who have won major championships. But what was that move like initially? Was it a little scary at all?
Yeah, for sure. When I first came over to America, I was kind of just at a point where I wanted to like test myself a little bit, go against some higher level girls, see, what level I'm actually at. But at the same time, like I said, I've always been with my mom and my brother at her gym. So I've never really pushed myself out of my comfort zone like that. So it was really scary to come over and, train with such a massive gym, but also a privilege. And I grabbed the opportunity with both hands and I fitted in really well, I feel like. And that's why I've ended up staying here with the team.
Since you moved over, one of your main coaches is Conan, obviously a guy who has been the coach for so many, I believe, Amanda Nunes and so many other very high-level fighters. What is it like to be able to train with him and allow him to help guide you?
Yeah, it's been a dream, honestly. Like, and we're only just starting off, so I feel like my first 2 years here at the gym, I've progressed so much under his guidance. So, and I know it involves a lot of other people at the gym as well, but for me, again, I always say this, having my mum as my coach, she took a really like important role in my career that I have to make sure I find at another gym. So when I moved over to America, I wanted somebody that, I wanted a head coach I could really trust, that I felt believed in me as much as, I wanted to believe in myself. And I found that in Conan, and I found like a lot of similarities in the way he thinks and his mindset, and the experience he's had through the sport. I found a lot of that to be similar to my mum, so I think that's why I click so well with him. And we're on a crazy journey so far, so I'm excited to see where it goes in the future. Obviously, with his success with other fighters, I can only imagine that we're going to achieve great things again.
Last year, you really started catching the eyes of all combat sports fans, winning the PFL Europe. That final when you did it, you took on Valentina Scatizzi, and you were able to finish her doctor stoppage. Before they broke it up, before they checked out her eye, did you have a feeling she was done?
Yeah, I did. To be honest, just because her eye was shut, and I wouldn't have wanted her to carry on fighting like that. As much as when I get in there, my emotions kind of change and I just want to kill as soon as I get in, I still wouldn't have wanted her to keep fighting like that because I could see there was a lot of damage to the eye. So for me, I was glad that they stopped it. But yeah, I was still kind of happy with the performance.
That moment of actually realizing that you did it, you won the PFL Europe. What was that like? What were some of the emotions going through you?
Yeah, I mean, on the night, I was super happy. I think more about the belt than the money, if I'm going to be completely honest. The belt was like super heavy. Like, I don't know whether, like a lot of people didn't realize how heavy and, how good the belt felt. It was like, sometimes you have like, I've never said this before, but it feels like, oh, I'm just fighting for this kind of like little bit of plastic that you put around your waist. But it was a really heavy belt and I was so happy with it. So that was kind of the main thing that I was chuffed with. But I was proud of myself, happy with how the year went, but I still had this year in my mind straight away. I just wanted to get to this tournament. So I probably didn't soak it all up as much as I should have, but it was still a really exciting time for me for sure.
Was that one of the reasons the belt was so heavy? Is that why you you had the check in your hand for like 20 seconds and you put it to the ground right after? Is that why you did that?
Yeah, I was like, just take the check. I'm not bothered about this. I just really wanted the belt. And like, I'd seen the belt the day before when I was like weighing in and like, doing my shakeout in the morning. The belt was kind of lying around sometimes. So I did like a vlog on my YouTube where I was like picking it up and wearing it before the fight and stuff. So I was just so excited about that I really wasn't bothered about the check.
Even going into that fight, did you know, after that year, this year, you were going to try to do the whole PFL Global and try to get the $1 million prize?
It was for sure something that was on my mind and what I thought was going to happen, but it wasn't 100% set in stone. So, as much as that's what I wanted to do, they didn't give me confirmation that I was going to do that. So I couldn't get too excited about it, but it was still a goal of mine of like, let's complete this Europe, season and then go on to the Worlds and let's conquer that one. But honestly, I didn't find out till like quite a few weeks later that they were going to go ahead with it because some people at PFL were saying, we're not going to run it this year. And then obviously the merge with Bellator, I think probably changed a little bit, like a few things because there was there was a big flyweight division with Bellator. So they had a lot of girls that they could obviously use for this year, which is as shown in this tournament.
And now, what are your overall thoughts on that? A lot of people are excited about that whole merger from Bellator and PFL. I mean, you're looking at the PFL cards now on Friday, and honestly, to me, they're as good as some of these UFC events. I mean, they're absolutely loaded. They're must miss, or you can't miss them. For you, initially, when you heard, did you get excited when you heard that about this merger? Did you know that was going to make your life have to fight some guys or girls that are well known and big names?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at the start, I was a little bit like, why are we merging two promotions together? But then when it happened, I was like, no, I see like what they're doing here. And with how many girls were in the Bellator division for my weight category was like, it was a bit of a win-win for me. So I suppose it was quite an exciting time. Yeah, I was looking forward to it. And then I kind of got a little bit of hope, like, they are going to run this tournament now because there's so many high-level girls. How can they not, put an exciting division on like this? And I do feel like it's one of the most exciting weight classes that they've got this year as well. It's like a fresh new weight and, new faces. I think it's catching quite a bit of attention.
You've gained a lot of attention this year so far, 2 fights in Global Series. I mean, you're running through your opponents here. You took on Lisa Malden, and you recently just beat Chelsea Hacktick. Let's talk about that last finish in the Chelsea fight. You know, it looked like she was trying to take you down. You showed that your takedown defense is really on point. You were able to land those body shots. And if you watch your fight, that's consistently. You love to attack the body. You do a lot of damage. Was the game plan going in there to break her from the body shots?
No, I wouldn't say it was, it was just kind of, I was expecting a tough fight. I knew that she was going to end up grabbing me because everybody says before they fight, oh, I'm going to strike with her, I'm going to strike with her. But then they never end up doing that when we strike. So I knew that she was going to grab me at some point. So, yeah, it wasn't like a game plan to go in and attack the body or anything. It's just that if I see an opening, it's kind of just natural for me to go for it.
You know, I think you're already one of the best strikers in mixed martial arts. I mean, your striking is so dynamic, it's so fluid, it's so crisp. Is that from years of doing the Thai boxing?
Yeah, I think so. I've had to change a lot, and obviously, I've been taught a lot since coming to American Top Team. They've kind of turned me into an MMA fighter rather than just a striker. Which I think is super important. I can't just go my whole career relying on my striking. I've got to be able to switch it up. And I think having the good team around me to kind of put different aspects of my game together has kind of leveled up my striking at the same time. So even though, my mom gave me these great genes and taught me my whole career, the added, input from American Top Team has kind of just leveled it up as well.
Do you feel this year now, after 2 fights in the PFL season, you're really starting to feel some extra attention? Your name's getting talked about more and more. You're starting to feel it?
Definitely, yeah. I'm definitely starting to feel it. PFL are putting some promo around me for sure, which I'm very grateful for. But at the same time, it's something that I have to really get used to because I know sometimes it can look like, oh, she loves the social media, she loves doing interviews. Like, it scares me a lot. I don't like too many cameras on me and things like that. I just like to get in and fight. So it's something that I'm still kind of getting used to and growing with, if I'm honest.
Do you feel like being able to train an American Top Team with individuals, like Amanda Nunes, Dustin Poirier, Jorge Masvidal, Hart Jr. Dos Santos, all these people, who have been at the highest of highest stages of the sport. Has that at all maybe relaxed you or made you more comfortable with doing more like the promotion stuff and getting your name out there a little more, your face out there?
Yeah, I suppose like just being around like athletes that are kind of going through the same thing, and especially females as well, and seeing like how the girls deal with things has kind of put me at ease a little bit. Having good role models in the gym to see how well they're dealing with media, and being able to be like talking to them about it getting too much and how to balance it and things like that has definitely helped for sure.
So next, you're going to be taking on Jenna Bishop in the semifinals here. Overall, what do you think of her as an opponent?
Yeah, no, she's good. I mean, she had a really good fight against Tyler or Talia, um, which probably surprised quite a lot of people because a lot of people speak highly of her. So I'm expecting her to really bring it. It's a semi-final. No one wants to go out at this point, so I'm expecting a tough fight. But at the same time, I know what I'm capable of, and I'm just excited to get in and do it again. It's like only 5 weeks away, so I feel like time is just going so fast. But yeah.
On the other side of the bracket, you got two girls who are big names of the sport. Obviously, Talia Santos. A lot of people think she beat Valentina Shevchenko. Then you got Liz Carmouche, obviously one of the first females to fight in the UFC after her fight against Ronda Rousey. Are you trying to take them out of your mind for now? Do you think about them? Do you acknowledge that they're there?
Yeah, I would say I do acknowledge that they're there, but I don't think too much about them because I've still got Jenna Bishop in front of me that I need to take out. So that's always like at the front of my mind. But I'm excited to see how the other two girls do. You still obviously have to, you can't ignore the other side of the bracket because the turnaround is so quick that you got to be prepared to fight either of them. You don't know who's going to go through. So I'm definitely thinking about all of them, but my main focus is on Jenna right now.
Do you ever envision what it would be like to win the PFL?
Yeah, I envision it all the time. It's going to happen for sure. I'm so excited for this year. It's kind of something that I've dreamed of since last year. So it's like I'm just excited to keep working hard. I'm just taking every week as it is. As much as I'm excited to get to the final, I'm just trying to enjoy the process and the whole tournament. And I've really actually enjoyed this season with PFL, even though people said to me it's going to be really hard. You're going back to back camps. You know, it's going to mentally get really difficult for you. I've kind of dealt with it really well. I've loved like getting straight back to the gym and, you know, being able to keep progressing. And I think it helps the fact that I'm seeing so much progress in myself and my confidence that I'm just excited to keep fighting and really enjoying the tournament.
You know, one thing that kind of drives me crazy is you get a lot of criticism from fighters saying that you haven't fought a high level competition yet. You're blowing through these girls, but you just haven't fought those high level people. But I mean, like, if you watch what you have done, I mean, I think it's just that you are on a different level than most of these individuals. I mean, me personally, I feel like you are going to be one of the faces of women's mixed martial arts. I don't think there's any denying that. Your skill level is amazing. But when you hear that criticism, does that even do anything to you? Do you ignore it? Do you laugh at it?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that as well. I kind of sometimes I get annoyed about it, and sometimes I'm just like, it is what it is. People are going to say what they want to say. My coach always says to me, you know, let them keep talking, and I'm just kind of one of them people that will just get in and keep fighting, and I don't need to try and prove them wrong, but I will do it by working hard, getting in the cage, and showing them that way. So for me, that's what I'm just going to keep doing. I mean, I feel like people say, you know, I'm like stopping these people straight away, but I mean, the Vasquez fought Lisa in the last round. She didn't stop her in the first round like I did, but nobody said anything about her. So it's like, you know, people just they like to just say things, right? But I suppose attention is good. It's getting my name out there. People are talking about me, so it's not a bad thing, I suppose. But for me, I just ignore all that and just concentrate on what's important, and that's for me to keep training and keep winning.
You know, it's crazy to think you're only 25. You're such a young fighter. And now in this tournament, you're going to have to face girls with more experience than you. Obviously, Jenna Bishop, she's 38. Santos and Carmouche, they have a little more professional experience than you do. Do you like that? Does that excite you even more, knowing that you can go out there and potentially beat girls who've been doing this for a very long time?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, even just their names, like people speak so highly of them, but I'm sure they're going to say, oh, they weren't a good opponent when I beat them. I think I'll still get comments like that. So I'm just excited to, you know, fight good names and, you know, show my skill level to be just like theirs or even better when I beat them, you know? So for me, it's a win-win to be in the circle with athletes that have been around for so long and, you know, such experienced fighters.
You know, when I look at you, when I look at your style, there's one fighter that I look at and I see a lot of similarities with him. That's Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Obviously, a fighter who trained at American Top Team, got inducted in the Hall of Fame the other night. Is that someone you look up to? And have you been able to meet her? Have you been able to get any advice from her?
Yeah, Joanna, I've watched for so long. And obviously, it's crazy. It's still so crazy to me that I'm at the same gym that she had so much success with, you know? And it's just like, it gives me great confidence to know that, you know, if I put my trust in American Top Team and keep working hard with, you know, the coaches that are there, I know that I can achieve great things like that. But she's honestly one of the nicest people ever. And it's still crazy that I've met her and I have been able to do like a drilling session, a striking session with her, which was, um, like something I probably won't ever forget. But yeah, she's someone that I've looked up to for a long time. So for people to, you know, see similarities between mine and her styles is a big thing for me.
You know, another fighter that I know that you really look up to is Valentina Shevchenko. And obviously, when you look at your styles, I mean, the brutality, the viciousness, the knockouts, the pure striking. I mean, you see a lot of similarities there too. Was she an inspiration for you? Was she one of the reasons why you want to do the MMA thing?
Yeah, definitely. She was one of the first girls that I kind of wanted to watch. Her career has been similar to mine. I feel like she did the same championships that I did in Thai boxing as an amateur. She did them as an adult as well, I think. But to see her kind of come from the same route and then achieve such amazing things in MMA just kind of gave me confidence at the beginning to know that I can still achieve, you know, even though I'm switching sports and essentially starting again. I was like, you know, on a winning streak and doing like having a lot of success in Thai boxing, and then I kind of had to start all over again when I came to MMA, which was fine for me at the start. You know, I quite like doing a completely new sport, but it was like building myself up from the bottom again. And I felt like when I saw what she'd done, I felt like, you know, it was going to be a good journey for me. And, it doesn't matter about starting again. It was kind of just a new path for me that, looking at her and her success kind of pushed me to keep going.
This sport has really evolved so much. 15, 20 years ago, when you talk MMA, it's like a casual fan, they knew the UFC. Some of them knew Pride, but the UFC was like that main one. Now you got the PFL, which is really kicking off. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. If people don't watch it, they really should, because some of the highest level fighters in the world are fighting on it. To you, what was your decision like to go to the PFL? Did you feel that that was a big show you could go early in your career that could maybe get you to being one of the bigger names of the sport?
Yeah, definitely. I think when my manager first approached me about signing with PFL, I was a little bit like, do I want to be tied into a promotion? Because what I was doing was like just fighting on different shows, like for one fight contracts. I wasn't like with one promotion at all. So I was kind of enjoying doing that, but at the same time, I was feeling a little bit like lost and not like I didn't feel like I was building any momentum, going to different shows and not building a fan base and like a relationship with, a team was kind of, I didn't know whether it was a good thing or a bad thing. So when PFL came and approached and, came up with the plan of doing like the Europe season and then the global one the year after, it was kind of like really exciting for me. And it was at the right time, I feel like. So that's why I snatched that opportunity up, and then it turned out to be amazing because I'm here now fighting a semi-final soon, and I've really enjoyed the 2 years that I've been with them for sure.
Obviously, you're under contract with the PFL. You love them. You're doing great things with them. But would it be a lie to say that you've never thought about 3 letters UFC?
People have like pulled this up on me a few times because like in a few interviews I've said before I want to go to the UFC, but it was before like this journey with PFL, and I feel like I'm not at all finished with PFL. They're growing at the same time as I am, so I feel like over the next few years we could have achieved amazing things. And then when I look at like Francis Ngannou, who's like signed with them now, he's also boxing, and he's doing amazing things, obviously making a lot of money. And then now the merge with Bellator, I feel like there's still so much that me and PFL can do together. So at the moment I just want to concentrate on like winning this year, seeing what they want to do next year with me, whether they want me to do a tournament again, whether they want to put me against like a Bellator champ, maybe Liz if we don't end up fighting. I just feel like there's loads of things that we can achieve together before I even think about that. So yeah, we never know in the future, but I'm happy for now for sure.
Another fighter who really made their name in the PFL, obviously Miss Kayla Harrison, now in the UFC, but for years and years, it was one of those things where, she was there, she was dominant. Is that an individual that you kind of look up to?
Yeah, for sure. And I have had I've spoke to Kayla a lot over the last few weeks as well. She's been in the gym drilling, but I've kind of picked her brains a little bit on like her experience with PFL. And she's got her career has just gone perfect. She was with you PFL for so many years, and look at all the success she had. So for me, I'm really happy with them. I'm going to keep enjoying my time with PFL and kind of listening to people like Kayla who have had so much, success and have got so much experience doing a tournament format, because it is very, very different. So, I'm going to keep going with this journey for now, and hopefully I'll have great success like she did.
How much fun are you having right now with your time in the PFL and your time as mixed martial artist?
Do you know, it's so weird because I was talking to my mum the other day, but this is probably the happiest I've been for a very, very long time. Like 2 years ago when I first came over to MMA, I was very much lost. I think I've spoke about it before. I was just signing with the PFL as well, so I literally had like no money. I was just a little bit like, where am I going with this? What am I doing? I didn't feel settled at all in the UK. And then now I just think like, even though I've been like back to back camps for the first half of this year, and I've been training really hard, and I've been having obviously 2 fights, I've got a third one coming up. This is the most settled and happiest I've been. I'm progressing so much in my career. I've got my own space now. I feel really at home here in Florida. So I'm just loving the whole a life that I've created. You know, the being in the gym every day is just an absolute dream to me. So honestly, I like couldn't be happier right now.
Obviously right now your next mission is Jenna Bishop. That is your main focus, but the goal at the end of the day is to win the tournament, is to win the championship. What would that mean to you? What would that mean to win the championship this year?
I mean, without saying anything, I just feel like it would solidify the fact that I am going to be a star in the future. In the future, I'm not saying I am now, but when I win this world title, like people cannot deny that I have a good future coming up if I keep working hard, you know. So hopefully it'll shut a lot of people up. But at the same time, I just know that it's going to be the beginning of something really, really special. I think it will give me a lot of confidence for sure, and yeah, I'll just be excited to just keep progressing. I mean, I'm only 25, so I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be happy for sure, but am I going to be satisfied? Definitely not, for sure. I'm not going to be satisfied.
Dakota, you're such a humble athlete. Many people think you are one of the stars right now, but when you get that, when they tell you that, as part of you, do you kind of like to run away from it? Do you kind of maybe not like that?
Yeah, I hate it. Honestly, I hate talking about myself. I hate saying like, oh, you're a star and things like that. Like I'm 25. There's so many amazing fighters and females that have kind of achieved just as good things, if not more. So I feel like even though people do want to big me up and back me when people are saying bad things, like I'm okay with people saying I've not kind of made it yet or proven anything. That's fine. Like I'm 25. Like I'm going to keep entertaining you guys for another good 5-6 years. So don't worry. I'm okay with that.
All right, Dakota, the last question for you. You're only about 5 weeks out from your contest against Jenna Bishop. In a perfect world, what happens when you take on Jenna Bishop?
Guys, we're going for a third finish in this tournament, and we're straight to the final. So you don't want to be missing it for sure.
Well, Dakota, I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you today so much. It was an honor just to be able to talk to you, as I really think you're going to be one of the faces of the sport. And thank you so much for hopping on here with me today.
Thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you.